Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Pets Digest. This is Courtney. I am a veterinarian and the owner of the Pets Digest, which is a lifestyle and health blog for pets. I started it in 2019, and while I don't make a ton of money from it, I feel like I have some experience, a lot of experience, I guess, around writing blogs and things like that. And I wanted to share some of the information that I have. So, I want to speak with you today about 6 things you should do right now if you want to start a pet blog. The first thing is you want to choose a niche. And by this, it's not even so. I'll say when I started my blog, The Pets Digest, my niche was around pancreatitis and GI issues in dogs and cats. And it kind of morphed into something else. So, I will say that you do not have to be, in my opinion, extremely specific about your niche. But if you're going to have a pet blog, is it gonna you should know if you're gonna be speaking about multiple animals. Are you just going to be speaking about dogs? Is it all about cats? Because while you don't have to niche down so heavily as I think some other people may tell you, I do think it's important to have a focus at least so that your audience can know kind of what to expect and you can know what your audience expects and you can know who your audience is and who you're writing for. It's a lot easier if you have a focus for your blog to know who you're writing to. As opposed to being all over the place with something and writing about something one week and something else next week. So, for example, my blog, The Pets Digest, it focuses on cats and dogs. And um, my readers know that. So, if you want to get subscribers and things like that, eventually you want to have at least a focus. You don't have to be so specific. Although, if you are extremely specific, sometimes that can work in your favor as well too because your audience definitely knows exactly what you're going to be speaking about every time you write. So I would say decide on a niche right now and make sure the niche is something that you can write about long term. So you're going to be writing your blog for a very, very long time and it's going to become extremely successful. So you're going to have a lot of topics within that focus or within that specific niche that you can write about. You also want to think about what you want to name your blog and you want to grab that domain as soon as you can. You want to make sure that it's free. When you're choosing a name, I would say you want to come up with something catchy, but you also want to come up with something that people can recognize what your blog's about as soon as they read it. So, again, for example, with my blog, it's about pets. So, that's why I put the the pets in the title. And like I said, when I initially started my blog, it was around food and diet and GI health and pancreatitis and GI issues and things like that. So that's why I chose the Pets Digest. But I also like that because I wanted it to be more like a newsletter, or a newspaper. So I think it works. It still works. And like I said, you don't have to be married to a niche um, because I definitely pivoted, so it's okay to pivot, but make sure that your title it's succinct enough and focused enough that people when they go to your blog they'll know what you're speaking about, but also make sure that it's broad enough that if you decide later on down the line to kind of switch things up a little bit, because you found this new avenue that you want to kind of include in your blog, that it's broad enough that you're able to give yourself that leeway to do so. The third thing I would say is you want to choose a host. Now, you can definitely choose something like a Wix, which is really easy to use. It's drag and drop, and um, there are some cons and some pros with it. I do go over a little bit more in my blog as far as what the cons and pros are. I'll link the link in the description box so that if you wanted to read up on it a little bit more, you can. But I personally would use a hosting platform, something like Bluehost or SiteGround or Big Scoots, which I heard was really, really good actually. If you join like some Facebook groups and things like that, you can get a feel for what platform everyone kind of uses. Join like some blogger Facebook groups and you can ask questions and get some feedback on that and decide which one you decide you want to go with. So if you're thinking about doing Wix or something like that versus using a hosting platform, then I would definitely do your research first around that. Then I definitely, once you have your name set and your domain set, you want to get your socials. So, your social media sites. So, even if you're not going to use them right away, I would secure them. So, if you want to secure your Instagram, definitely your Twitter. And if you think you're going to use TikTok, I would do TikTok and Facebook. And I say get that, grab them because in the future, if you would decide you want to use them, you want to make sure that they're there. It doesn't cost you anything. So why not just go in and do it? And if they're free, great. And then you'll have them. So even if you don't decide not to use them ever in life, at least you know that you can if you decide to. What if your blog gets really successful, you probably want to use at least one of them. Oh, and Pinterest. Pinterest. I would definitely get Pinterest too, even though a lot of bloggers are saying that now it's not as helpful as it was years ago, but I would still kind of get that. And also, I would say create a post list. So create a list of blog articles that you think you can write. I would get at least 50 to 50. So get like a year if you can. If you're going to write one a week, for example, I would make a list of at least 50 to 55, 60 articles. If you want to go higher than that, that's great. But make sure that this is something that you can write about for a long time. So I think if you get a year's worth of posts, you should be pretty good. I mean, I know that's kind of pushing it, but if you think about it, it's just 52 posts basically for the year. If you're posting once a week now, if you want to do 6 months, that's great. But I would do a post list to kind of feel out if you're this is something that you really can write about. Are there enough topics to write about? Is there enough interest that for you that you're that interested in these topics to write about them? So you can kind of get a feel for that once you start researching a little bit and creating your post list. And then one of the last things that I think you should do right now is to start researching SEO. So if you know nothing about search engine optimization, you need to learn. So you need to start right away, even before you delve into your blog. And while you're writing, you can still be learning these things. But even figuring out what it is, what's the best place to learn about it. I took a course and I talk a little bit about that in my blog, and I can also do a video about it, I guess. But I took a course, and it's very helpful. So, search engine optimization is basically how you word things uh, and format your blog so that search engines can find your blog and then tell other people about your blog so then other people can find your blog. So it's extremely, extremely, extremely important that you start learning about SEO right now. And again, if you're joining Facebook groups and things like that, they can kind of point you in the right direction as far as courses and things as well that you may want to look into. And you can get some information about, like, ask questions about SEO and things like that. So it's really great to have that support group. So I guess I would add on to this that you should join a couple of Facebook groups around blogging. So I would add that on to this list as well. Like get a community started, learn things, and you should be well on your way. There are other things that I have. I try to keep these YouTube videos under 10 minutes, and I'm at like 9 minutes now. So I'm going to end it right here. But if you want more information, definitely visit my blog. I'll put the link in the description, and I hope that you will subscribe to this channel. And if you decide to, that's wonderful. If not, I'd appreciate a like, and I appreciate you for listening. Thanks. Bye.